Ever noticed how some things are just missing from today's movies and series? If you've been watching closely, you've probably picked up on a few of these subtle, or not so subtle, taboos. These are the things that, for a mix of cultural, social, or industry reasons, filmmakers steer clear of these days. Let's break down 10 of the most notable taboos in modern entertainment, each with some classic examples that show just how times have changed. Welcome to nerdsection.com. Number 10. First up, smoking. Once a staple of Hollywood, puffing away was almost shorthand for being cool, edgy, or mysterious. Think of Humphrey Bogart in Casablanca, or the noirish allure of cigarettes in Sin City. But today, smoking is largely banned from screens. If you see it, it's usually in period dramas like Mad Men, where it's more about historical accuracy than glamorizing the habit. Networks and studios have widely phased it out to avoid normalizing smoking for younger audiences. Number 9. Then there's over-the-top violence. Sure, we still get action-packed scenes, but movies have toned down the gratuitous gore we saw in films like RoboCop and Total Recall in the 80s and 90s. Now, excessive violence often gets toned down or stylized to avoid extreme brutality, especially with younger audiences in mind. Number 8. Depicting characters in abusive relationships used to be explored in-depth in films, sometimes even being glamorized in movies like Gone with the Wind. But in today's media landscape, narratives around toxic relationships are handled with a lot more nuance, or avoided entirely to prevent accidental romanticization of abuse. Number 7. And let's not forget casual sexism and racial stereotypes. Once common in movies like Breakfast at Tiffany's, with Mickey Rooney's infamous portrayal of Mr. Yunyoshi, or 16 Candles, where Asian characters were used as punchlines, these depictions are now completely unacceptable. Filmmakers today are more aware of the potential negative press these stereotypes can cause and are taking steps to create softer portrayals. Number 6, another big taboo, fat shaming and body image jokes. Characters whose weight was the punchline, like those in Shallow Hal, would face heavy criticism today. Modern media is more focused on body positivity and DEI. Number 5, how about religious themes, especially ones that might come across as mocking or insensitive? After negative experiences, for example with South Park's episode 201, studios try to avoid backlash from religious communities. Some filmmakers still tackle these themes, but with added care and nuance to avoid being labeled as disrespectful. Number 4. Next, drug use. While it's still there, it's less overt than it used to be, especially in comparison to the drug-fueled scenes of fear and loathing in Las Vegas or Trainspotting. Today, drugs are rarely portrayed in a glamorous light. Instead, we see a focus on the consequences and complexities of addiction, like in Euphoria, where the tone is cautionary rather than celebratory. Number 3, portrayals of mental illness have also evolved. Gone are the days of using mental health issues purely as plot twists, like in Fight Club. Now, creators approach these topics with more depth, aiming for authentic representation and understanding, as seen in recent shows like BoJack Horseman or This Is Us. Number 2, the superhero genre has seen a huge transformation in how violence against women is handled. The damsel in distress trope is fading, along with scenes where female characters are victimized to motivate male heroes. Nowadays, female superheroes like Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel are portrayed with the same strength as their male counterparts. Number 1, finally, sexual content involving younger characters or any portrayal of underage relationships is highly scrutinized. Movies like Lolita would face far more backlash today, and the industry keeps a close eye to avoid romanticizing or sensationalizing these relationships. These taboos mark a shift in how films handle sensitive content, reflecting our evolving awareness and values. What might have once gone unnoticed is now met with thoughtful critique, and that's a good thing. Times change, and so does what we see on screen. If you're interested to learn how movies are made, check out our next video.